Hello friends! My name is Commodore Evangeline Winters and I am a time-traveling steampunk fairy. Now you might have met me before here in Tucson at the Mini Time Machine Museum. I met my friends over there from the Museum of Make-Believe. Now they're going to be opening a museum soon over in Anaheim, California, so make sure to look them up so you can get any information coming up about that. But today I've been asked to share a story that they've written called The Strange Secrets of Starlight Park. Now all of my favorite stories begin with 4 very magical words. If you know what they are, can you say it with me on the count of 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Once upon a time, the sun reflected off something shiny in the distance, and like the North Star, it called to him. He rubbed the tears from his eyes while walking towards it. It is the furthest that he had ever gone into the forest, fleeing from the fight with his dad. No matter how much he pleaded, he was still being sent away to study. But he knew that he was meant for more, much more. He touched the edge of the crumpled metal in front of him, then bent down to inspect the blue and pink peeling paint on it. He ducked under a tall evergreen, and there in front of him was a cacophony of color, lost to rust. A merry-go-round laid on its side. Some of the horses had broken ears and bent hooves, but he could still see the beauty that was once in them. There were tracks of a ride that climbed up into the air and ended midstream like a half-built bridge to nowhere. Everywhere he looked were the brilliant broken ruins of an amusement park that he never knew existed. It only made him sadder, seeing this lost joy scattered at his feet. He could see the sun setting in the distance, and, not yet ready to face his dad, he curled up in a nearby Ferris wheel cabin, pulling an old canvas banner over his back for protection from the wind. Soon, he fell into a deep, restless sleep, his heart still plagued by the grim future laid out before him. He awoke to a strange whirling sound. Suddenly, the cabin he was in began to shake. Sitting up with a start, he realized that he was being raised up into the air. He heard the jingling notes of a music box, and he looked down in wonder as each of the broken, mangled rides raised up in the air and began to move, lights flickering on. Slowly, people began to emerge from the trees. He could see it all spread out below him, the scattered rusted rides moving again with great purpose. A girl in a red velvet cape began twirling on one foot, and a tiger stretched sleepily and bent down as she climbed on its back. One young child started making cotton candy, the long strands of sugar coating the air. A man in a large top hat looked up and saw him. He didn't seem surprised. He looked at him for a long moment, and then called out, "You there, what is your name?" The boy nervously replied, "Evander, sir." The man nodded curtly, then pulled a leather journal from his coat pocket, and with an old quill, made a mark in it. The sky blackened, the moon shadowed by a rush of dark wings. Too many crows to count filled the air. The boy looked around nervously and asked, "What is happening?" The man looked up at Evander, now high on top of the Ferris wheel moving in a slow loop. He said, "They are the birds that carry souls." He said it matter-of-factly, as if this was something everyone should know. "Evander, it is time for you to make a choice, and you must make it quickly. Would you like to stay?" Without hesitating, the boy nodded, and the man nodded back in a brisk acknowledgement of the response. Suddenly the birds surrounded them, and the entirety of Starlight Park was lifted into the air. Until the very start of dawn, the ride spun and performance performed. Evander wandered around, taking it all in, stepping between the clouds and looking down on occasion to the lights of his small village twinkling below. Just as the sun was rising, the birds returned the park to firm ground again, and it was once again as dilapidated as it was when he first found it. The man walked over to Evander and said, "Remember, my boy, you cannot run from what you are meant to be, and all that is broken can be repaired if you just believe." He once again opened the journal and made a careful mark in it. Evander asked quietly, "Can I return someday?" The man took his hat off and gave him a deep bow. With that, he disappeared into the morning mist, and the only sound left in the air was that of the waking songbird. Thank you for listening to the story with me, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time.